You would think my number one question asked was about money, but it's not. It's really about mentors. So let's talk about it. Tubiest of the tubiest, the best YouTube subscribers on the planet. That's you. And I'm 50 plus. And I was a mentor, and I had probably a 99% hell of a good time. And I believe there is a real stigma, on mentors, that the perception is they're all bad and they just want to run you to make money, and nothing good comes out of them. I mean, that's basically the gist. And the problem is that mentality comes before. Think about it, because you don't need a mentor if you got experience. Okay, so the person who's getting on that mentor's truck has no experience. They're green, right? They're rookie. They're not even rookie. They're just they're zero yet. They ain't got nothing. So that person has no foundation to build their perception of what a mentor should be, unless they come on to YouTube and listen to people yap and gripe and bitch about it. And just think about it. My videos, for instance, I do all right with you guys. You guys you support me really good, and I appreciate it. My viewership is nowhere near some of those trucker channels that they go off, they skew to the left, and with a lot of things, and they like to bitch and fuss and complain and fight with each other and all that kind of things, and keep up a lot of drama because people like to look at that stuff. That's why there's only one Channel 8, one PBS, but 50 channels with TV shows on there full of shit. But that's what people watch. Very few people going to watch PBS. That's not, there's no drama there, right? And so talking negative sells. But it doesn't mean that that's always the fact, okay? Because they can say it, obviously there's some amount of truth to having a negative experience on a mentor's truck. But be honest, okay, with yourselves. Can't that be said just about anything? There's negatives, and you can find something negative with anything, period. And you can find something negative with anybody, period. That's just it, okay? And it is what you make it out to be, okay? And then there's some pretty bad guys out there and pretty bad gals out there that are mentoring. I cannot defend them, and I'm not here to defend them. I'm just telling you that honestly, they are few and far in between, okay? They're not the norm. The norm are folks who are trying to help someone else get into this industry and make a few dollars extra for themselves, because we've talked about it, and we'll talk about it again in just a little bit. Cent per mile. We're gonna talk about that, but OTR is not a 100% necessary, but it's probably 80% when you are done with your year of experience and you want to move on and do something different. You know, unless you're going to do that exact same thing, if you want to try to do something different, people look at that, whether you've had a lot of OTR miles, and they need that experience because they want to know if you're capable of driving in multiple states and completing loads over multiple days and things of that nature. That is not in short-term driving or dedicated. And I drove big rigs for, you know, Coca-Cola or, you know, the FedEx or something, you know, where it wasn't across 50 states. It's just home every day. That's a different type of driving, and it doesn't require that you use a lot of your trucking skills. So OTR is necessary. The problem is OTR pays shit in comparison to a whole lot. And it's backwards. It really should pay a lot more, but it doesn't, you know? And that's the reason we're going to move on to the next subject, which is cent per mile, okay? We want to know why I'm talking about a mentor process and a cent per mile deal. Why do they interchange? Well, that's because a mentor gets paid off cents per mile also. And the only way we can make additional money or make more money, which everybody want to make more money. So don't act like you're coming into this industry because you want to make less money than you're making right now. That's not it. That's not a fact. Okay. Everybody wants more money. And it's difficult because of the restraints that we have on driving. We are confined by the DOT books and logs, okay? Our time, basically. And you can only do so much work in a certain amount of time. And when that time's up, you're done. You can't do anymore. And I don't care how hard you drive, how fast you can do it, you can still only be able to get a certain amount done in a given period of time. Well, when you have a student with you, and after you got that student able to drive, then he can drive some, you can drive some, and you combine them, and then the mentor makes more money. And at the same time, he's helping someone else. And everybody like to count your pennies, you know. Everybody like to say, oh, he just doing it for the money, you know, because they don't want to see the good in it. They just want to find and scratch and claw at the negative, because that's what sells. It's what people like to talk about, you know. Coronavirus, oh my God. You can't turn TV on and watch that. It's got to be on there, you know. I don't watch it because I'm on this truck. But it's in the news. It's all everything's shutting down. You know, hey man, negative sales. And just because the mentor is team driving with his student doesn't mean that he don't want that student to learn. He's on that truck as well. You think he want to let a student drive and drive him off a cliff? Come on, man. That don't even make sense. But it's the cents per mile. That's the problem. That's the problem with a whole lot of deals in trucking. Cent per mile. I made a video that talked about that before, you know, which is a legitimate plus with other companies, you know, especially like Prime, who bring their drivers in and give them a lease and then pay them a percentage, and that works out a lot better. If you are getting a percent of the load, okay, then it really doesn't matter how fast you can get it there so you can grab another one, okay? Because it's going to pay you the same. That load pays a percent, you know, and then it's got a time on it, you get it there and that's it, okay? Of course, if there's two people doing it, you can get it there faster and grab another one and get it done before the pay period's over. So yes, you can still team drive and then just really kill it, but it's unnecessary with cent per mile, because you got to turn them wheels, you got to turn them miles if you want to make more money. And it begins to be a necessity at a period of time, and that's when these mentors start pushing their students, you know, to drive earlier than they should, or let's hurry up, let me back this in because I want to get this one done and grab another one, you know. It's chasing that cent per mile. If he was getting paid a percentage, he would spend more time. He could spend more time because he's making more. Greed, you can't be in the equation, okay? We were talking about sane people doing sane things, okay? But the fact is, as long as we're getting paid cent per mile, you're going to find mentors that are subject to cross some lines, okay? That I'm just trying to give you guys some explanation as to why mentors do what the people think that they're doing at a alarming rate, meaning it's such a bad thing. And the fact is, if that system didn't work, it would be done with it. It would have gotten rid of it. But the system does work because there's far more good mentors than are bad. So once you go into it, the mentoring phase, go into it with a positive frame of mind, okay? I did a natural progression. I started with dry van and refrigerated. Now I'm doing flatbed because my end game is big equipment, heavy stuff. So to get there, there's a progression, okay? You can do flatbed, then you can do some step deck, and then you can do some a little bit of RGN, a little bit of oversized, and you kind of go up and up and up and up, okay? And I like that. I like that. The reason I bring that up is because if you are interested in doing flatbed, with Melton, all you need to do is come with your license. You don't have to have experience, but straight out of school with your license, and they will put you with a mentor. And Melton's mentoring phase is a little bit different than a lot of others where you're driving teams and stuff like that. But you're going to get a good tutelage, and it's kind of the way flatbed is designed as opposed to dry van reefer stuff. We are specific times. It happens early. With dry van and reefer, and you liable to, have a delivery at 10, 11, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, that doesn't happen. You're not going to a construction site at 1 o'clock in the morning. Nobody there but the coyotes, right? So it's a different mentoring process, okay? And so if that's what you're thinking about coming into flatbed, note that the mentoring process is a little bit different than it is with dry van reefer, okay? And each company does things a little bit different as well, okay? But bottom line is understand the mentoring phase. It's going to be a little bit stressful. You're going to have to make some adjustments as a student, and the mentor will make adjustments towards you. He should, so that it can kind of go a little smooth, okay? And also take into account what's going on with cent per mile. That plays a part in the demeanor of the atmosphere, okay? So if you go to a company that pays percentage, and your mentor is getting paid on a percentage, you're going to get a different experience, okay? And if you choose dry van, refrigerated, or flatbed, those things are also going to take, kind of modify what your experience is going to be as a student with your mentor. So take those things in consideration, and number one, keep an open mind, okay? And go into this with your eyes wide open and your ears wide open, and and listen and learn. You learn as much as you can. But when you get a red flag, tell somebody. Don't just go through the mentoring phase and having a bad experience and not tell anybody anything. And also, last thing, understand that nothing's owed to you. You're there to learn it. You're there to get it, get as much as you can, and move on and get your own truck, go by and handle your business by yourself. But the person isn't owed to teach you or show you anything outside of what it takes to do this business and what's in that handbook that you've gotten that says this is what you should be getting from your mentor. Other than that, you know, if he's not doing it, if she's not doing it, you get you another mentor. But no matter what, don't let it stop you from reaching your end game, okay? UBS, until I see you next time, I'm going to bed. Here's your boop. Boop.